Hi, in this lesson, we are going to discuss about some of the compression utilities in Linux. Before we discuss about the compression utilities, let us try to understand what is compression. Compression utilities are one of the common and essential utilities in all the platforms. So it helps us to reduce the size of the file without causing loss to the data. So compression not only helps us to reduce the size of the file, but also it helps us to send the files across the servers faster. So some of the tools used in Linux are gzip, bzip2, and zip. So let us try to understand all these commands in detail. The first utility that we are going to learn is called as the gzip utility. Gzip utility is one of the most commonly used compression utilities in Linux. A syntax is gzip followed by the options followed by the name of the file. So let us try to work with some examples using gzip. So for the purpose of practical demonstration, let us create one large file. So in this case, I'm creating a large file by using the sequence command. What this command does is, it is going to dump the numbers from 1 to 1 lakh into the file called file1. So if you run cat command on file1, you can see the list of all those numbers. If you check the size of the file, you can see that it is approximately about 576 kilobytes. So now let us try to use gzip command on this file. When you look at the output, you can notice that it has compressed the file called file1 and it has been saved as file1.gz. You can notice from the output that the file has been compressed as file1.gz. So let us check the size of this file. You can notice that it is roughly about 211 kilobytes. As you can notice that the file has been compressed when you compare with the previous file size. Gzip has an option called -d which is used for decompressing the compressed file. Let us see how it is done. As you can see from the output, we have got our original uncompressed file. It is also possible that by using the gzip command without compressing the file, we can see the compressed data on the console. Let us see how it is done. This is the compressed data how it looks like. And remember, we are not saving the compressed output as a separate file. However, you can also create the compressed file from the previous command. As you can see here, this file has been created from the output of gzip-c followed by file1 command. We can also verify the compression statistics by using another command. As you can see from this output, the compressed file size is about 2,15,163 bytes. The uncompressed file size is 5,88,895 bytes. The compression ratio is about 63.5%, and this is the original file name. We can view the uncompressed content from the compressed file by using the zcat command. Let's see how it is done. As you can see here, this is the content in the compressed file. So we are actually seeing the uncompressed data from the compressed file without uncompressing the file. We can create the uncompressed file by using the previous file. We can create the uncompressed file by using the previous command. As you can see here, the uncompressed file is having the same file size as the original file. We can create the uncompressed file by using the gzips command called gunzip. Once again, as you can see here, previously we had a file called file2.gz. Now we have its uncompressed file called as file2. And you can check the file size that it matches with the size of that original file. Now let us discuss about one of the other compression utilities called as bzip2. First of all, let us check its syntax. The syntax of bzip2 is bzip2 followed by the options followed by the name of the uncompressed file. So let us see how bzip2 works. For the purpose of practical demonstration, I am going to consider the same file which I have considered in the previous exercise. As you can see here, the size of the uncompressed file is 576 kilobytes. Now let us see how to compress it by using the bzip2 command. As you can notice here, the file1 has been compressed and been kept as file1.bzip2. And you can notice that the size of this file is 122 kilobytes. Let us see how to decompress the compressed file, that is file1.bzip2 file. To uncompress the compressed file, we will use the -d option as we did in the case of gzip command. As you can see here, once again the compressed file has been decompressed as file1 and its size is 576 kilobytes. Once again, you can notice that the compressed file file1.bzip2 has been decompressed as file1 and its size is 576 kilobytes, which is the original size of that file. Let us see what happens if we use -c option with bzip2 command. As you can see here, unlike bzip2 command, which sends the compressed data onto the terminal, bzip2 does not send the compressed data to the terminal. Now let us see how to view the uncompressed data from the compressed file. Here we have the compressed file called as file1.bzip2. To view the uncompressed data, we have the command bzcat. Remember that this command dumps the uncompressed data onto the terminal. It does not create any output file. Once again, to create the uncompressed file from the previous command, all that we need to do is we have to redirect the output to another file, to file 4. As you can see here, the size of the file 4 is same as our original file, which is 576 kilobytes. Once again, we can create the uncompressed file by using another command called bunzip. As you can see here, the compressed file has been uncompressed as file1 and its size is 576 kilobytes, which is the original file size. So far we had seen that whenever we create the compressed file, the uncompressed file is deleted. So let us see how to create the compressed file without deleting the uncompressed file. As you can see here, the uncompressed file is not deleted in this case. Next, we will discuss about one of the common compression utilities which is found in almost all the platforms. That is zip. So let us see how the zip works. Remember that you have to specify the destination file name as the first parameter and the file name that needs to be compressed as the second parameter. Otherwise, you would get an error. Now, by looking at this output, you can notice that the compression ratio of this command is about 63%. As you can notice from the output, it has created a file called file1.zip. Sometimes it would be necessary to add few more files to the compressed file. So let us see how it is done. In this case, I'm trying to add a file called file2 into the compressed file called file1.zip. Suppose if you have to remove a file from the compressed file, you can use the command zip followed by -d followed by file1.zip followed by the name of the file which you need to remove from the compressed file. As you can notice here, the file2 has been removed from the compressed file file1.zip. Suppose if you want to see the uncompressed data from the compressed file, once again we can use the command zcat. As you can see here, it prints the uncompressed data onto the console. We can also create the uncompressed file by using the unzip command. As you can notice here, the default behavior of this command is that it replaces the existing file which is called as file1. So it is prompting us, do you want to replace the original file or not to replace the original file, or to replace all the files which is present in this archive, or not to perform any operation, or not to perform any operation, or rename the file that's going to be created now. I'm going to use the option R. As you can see here, it has created one new uncompressed file from the compressed file file1.zip. Now let us discuss about another compression utility called as tar. Whenever we want to compress a collection of files and archive them for the future use, then we can use the tar command. So tar can be used whenever we want to archive a collection of older files that you can use it for the later purpose, then we can use tar. So let us see the syntax of tar command. The syntax is tar followed by the options, followed by the name of the destination file, that is filename.tar, followed by the list of file names, or you can also specify the tar command with the options and the name of the destination file with the name of the directory containing the files. So let us see some examples how tar command works. For the purpose of practical demonstration, I'm going to consider the files that were created in the previous exercise. So I'm going to consider the files with the name file1, file2, file3, file4, and file5. So let us see how to create an archive by using all these 5 files. Now this command creates an archive by the name called package.tar containing 4 files, that is file1, file2, file3, and file4. Here -c option is used to specify that we are going to create the archive. -v is used to specify the verbose, that is to show the background statistics of the command execution, and f is used to specify the destination file name. Now let us see how to check the content of the package called package.tar. The content of the package can be listed by using the option called -t. The -t will list the content of all the files which is present in the file called package.tar. Here you can notice that along with the package name, that is package.tar, we also have the files which were used to create this package. Suppose if you don't want to keep the files after creating the tarball, then we can use the following command. As you can notice from the output, the above command has created a tarball called as package2.tar, and we have used the files file1, file2 and file3. Here we are using another option called remove files, which ensures that the files whatever were the files that were used for creating this archive will be removed once after it is created. Now we have seen the basic usage of the tar command. Now let us see how to create compressed archives by using the tar command. Now in this command, we are creating a compressed tarball which is of the gzip format. For that, we are using an additional option in the command, that is z. And here file4 and file5 represents the source files. As you can compare here, as you can see here, the size of the compressed archive is much lesser when compared with the non-compressed tarball. As you can notice here, the size of the compressed tarball is much lesser when compared with the non-compressed tarball. Now let us see how to view the files which is present in the compressed tarball. As before, we can use the option T to view the content of the compressed archive, that is package3.tar.gz. Once again, it is mandatory to use the option Z to specify. Once again, it is mandatory to specify the option Z to specify what format of the tarball we are using in the command. Now in this case, since we are using the gzip format, we have to use the option Z. Let's see how this compressed tarball can be extracted. For the purpose of demonstration, let us assume that the file 4 and file 5 has been accidentally removed. So let's see how to recover those files from the compressed archive. As you can see here, we have removed the file 4 and file 5, which was present before. Now let us see how to extract the package called package3.tar.gz. As we can see here, we have recovered the files file 4 and file 5 from the archive package3.tar.gz. Let us see another option how we can create the compressed tarballs. In this case, we are creating a compressed tarball which is of bzip2 format. For this purpose, we are using another option that is J, and file 4 and file 5 represents the source files. Now let us verify this package. Now you can notice here the size of this compressed tarball is about 239 kilobytes. Now let us see how to view the content of the compressed tarball which is in the bzip2 format. As before, we are going to use the "-t" option in order to view the content of the tarball. Once again, to specify the type of the tarball, we are using the option J. In this case, we are using the bzip2 format of the tarball. Now let's see how to extract the files from this tarball. Let us assume that the file 4 and file 5 has been accidentally removed. Now let us try to extract from the compressed tarball, that is package4.tar.bzip2. Now in this case, we are using the "-x" option to extract from the compressed tarball which is in the bzip2 format. Once again, we are using the option J to specify that the compressed tarball is in the bzip2 format. You can see here from this output, the file 4 and file 5 has been extracted. Now let us see how to add files into the tarball. To add files to the tarball, we'll be using the option "-append" followed by "-file" option which is used to specify the name of the tarball, followed by the name of the file which needs to be added to the tarball. Similarly, to remove the files, we are using an option "-delete" followed by the name of the tarball, followed by the name of the file that needs to be removed from the tarball. Let us see this in practical. For the purpose of practical demonstration, let us create one new file. Now let us see how to add this file to the tarball called package2.tar. Now let us verify the content of this tarball. As you can see here, the file 6 has been added to the tarball, that is package2.tar. Similarly, we will see how to remove the same file from the tarball. As you can notice here, the file 6 has been removed from the package2.tar. Let's see how to add files to the compressed tarballs. As you can notice here, you cannot update the compressed archives. Tar does not support adding of files to the compressed tarballs. Now, one solution to this problem is to unzip the file, that is package3.tar.gz, and add the file6 to that uncompressed tarball, and once again compress the tarball. So let us see how it is done. We will be using the same command which we had used earlier to add a file to that archive. Now let us verify the content of this package3.tar. As you can notice here, the file6 has been added. So as we discussed earlier, let us compress back this to the gzip format. As you can notice here, it has been compressed. To verify this compressed archive, let us check the content of this package. To verify the content of this compressed archive, let us verify the content by using the option "-tvf", as we did earlier. As you can notice here, the file6 is present inside this compressed archive. Once again, the method to remove the file from the compressed archive is same as what we did in the case of adding the file. So first we have to uncompress the compressed archive, then remove the file, then we will compress the file again. So let us see how it is done. Now let us verify the content of package3.tar. As you can notice here, the file6 has been removed from the package.tar. So let us compress this file again. As you can see here, we have once again compressed the file. So in this lesson, we have discussed about some of the compression and archival utilities. Hope you have enjoyed. Thank you.